It says that I am live. So, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. Hey, you guys, it is Ty, and welcome back to my channel. I am a spiritual healer, intuitive leader, motivational teacher. So, on this channel, I suggest and advise what has helped me along my journey from speaking from a place of experience as well as understanding life. So, with that being said, on this channel, I suggest and advise information. I do not tell people what to do nor how to feel. So, with that being said, with the information that I suggest and advise, I use my everyday experiences. I've used what I've experienced in the past, the present, and the future, as well as natural resources. So, going outside, meditation, verbally expressing myself through communication, or physically allowing myself to just be a body and understanding my thoughts, which is my soul, so my spirit can align myself. So with that being said, I'm a spiritual being who possesses a soul inside of a physical body. Meaning in this life, I and the collective do not have control over necessarily when we are born into this world, meaning the actual day we were born and the day we are no longer going to be here. But I know that I am conscious and have been subconscious from those two moments in life. So, with that being said, on this channel, I will be here specifically and strategically for those who choose to stop by, for those who choose to support me, to heal themselves and understand why they're here. So, with that being said, once again, I speak from a place of experience. I do not know everything. I speak from my experiences. So, from all the jobs that I had from working since 17 years old up until starting a business, from all of the cars that I've drove, all of the relationships, good and bad, professional, platonic, intimately, experiences, good and bad, opportunities that I've been exposed to, the states, the countries, the continents that I've traveled to, the people, the food. Life is about experiencing and perspective. So, on this channel, something that I like to do once again is use natural resources. So, traveling, using physical resources such as a dictionary or the source. So, specifically and strategically, last year, mainly I was breaking down keywords from the title/topic by using a dictionary in the source. And the reason why I use the dictionary in the source to break down keywords from the title/topic to go over for you guys was to not only to refresh you guys, but to reassure you guys. So everybody has a general idea. So when I first originally started this channel, I made content for the collective in general, meaning anybody who chose to watch, anybody who chose to support, or anybody who just came across this page like right now. As I continue to grow into my channel as well as learn from you all, so my genuine subscribers, for those of you who are returning and for those of you who are joining as I grow and as you grow, what you guys personally wanted me to suggest and advise, go over story time, background, perspective. Because everyone in life does not have the same geographical resources. Everyone does not have the same finances, emotionally, spiritually, physically, or intuitively. Everyone does not have the same resources when it comes to stability, when it comes to emotional support. Everyone doesn't have everything that everybody needs to get to where they need to be in life, but it doesn't mean that you can't get to where you need to go. The purpose of me and the purpose of this channel and the second video that I'm posting for today for the title is to not be distracted. Don't be distracted. In this world, excuse me, my words are all over the place. We are born into society not knowing who we are. And ever since we've been children, we've been programmed and been taught and have been accustomed to have a certain mentality and be on a level of frequency. Just like everybody else, I too used to have a level of frequency of energy that I was giving into, as well as people, places, and things from being programmed. It wasn't until the first 19 years of my life, or I would say the first 17 or the first 16 years, scratch that. So from ages 1 to 16 years old, I felt like my parents did the best that they could I would consider them middle class people. They didn't start off that way. Both my parents grew up foreign and immigrant and minority descent, being born and raised, you know, and then moving to New York City. And then that's where they had me. And then being born and raised there. And then as, me and my family grew, so did our income and, what we've been exposed to. So then that's when my parents moved from New York City to the state of Maryland, where it's near the nation's capital, so like 45 minutes from Washington, D.C. in the United States. Being exposed to there, going to school out in Maryland, getting a education, doing my parents doing the best that they have. And it wasn't until I was 17 when my parents separated because my dad was in the process of dying. He had cancer. And he knew he was dying. I knew he was dying too, because, I'm his daughter, his child. And my parents separated. And then when I turned 17, I stopped, not realizing that my parents' separation affected me. So when I turned 18, 19, 20, I was just living life, not realizing that I took advantage of my parents' separation because emotionally I wasn't, stable, but because both of my parents weren't emotionally stable, just from a lot going on in their marriage and family, I realizing how that affected me. So it wasn't until after I was 18 years old, but I graduated high school, that certain situations happened to me. And then 18 and 19, or 18 to 20, I'll say. So from the first 16 years of my life, like I said, my childhood and my teenage life was really good. My parents did the best that they could, and they made sure that, I had clothes on my back, I had food in my mouth, and I had a roof over my head. And then 17, like I said, I didn't realize, but from 18 to 20 is when a lot of traumatic situations started to happen to me, to the point where I did lose myself mentally, emotionally, and financially, and did not realize from all of the suffering and the trauma that I've gone through up until the age of like 23 or 22 that I realized how deeply enrooted it was. And it wasn't until last year, me turning 24, that I realized, like, or not last year, 23, going into 24. So 2020 into 2021, I took time to emotionally heal myself. And on this channel, that's all I'm going to be doing, is just suggesting what I've done to heal myself, let you guys know from my experiences. I don't think I know everything, because I know I don't know everything. And coming from a place of experience as a human being, I'm just going to suggest and advise this. I don't knock people or degrade people based off of their status or value, because a degree is a label, just like any and everything else in this world. So if you're in school, go to school to use it to be beneficial, to make your life convenient, or understand the value. Go to school because you want to. Go to school because it's going to benefit you. Go to school because that is something that you have desires. Now, if you're not in school, if you're like me, you graduated high school and you had to work immediately from high school or after high school, don't be discouraged. Don't allow people to tell you that you have to have a degree, that you have to be certified in life. I don't need a degree to tell me how to live my life. I would need a degree if I needed a roof over my head, because we've been programmed from kindergarten to 12th grade to work hard to go to school so we can get a good job. If you're going to go to school, like I said, go to school, do things that are going to be beneficial towards you and that are going to benefit you, but don't knock people, don't feel discouraged if you're not necessarily in school. Because when I graduated high school, like literally when I graduated high school in 2015, and like a lot of my friends were going to school at the time, I was working, and I remember I used to be embarrassed because all my friends were like, "Yeah, so what school are you going to? What school are you going to?" And I was just like, "I work at TJ Fridays. I work at Dave and Buster's. I work at Silver Diner. Like, I'm a server in real life, because I didn't have the funds nor the grades to go to college if I wanted to." And realizing that, and as I've learned and experienced life, knowing that just because certain things happen to you doesn't mean that the world is going to stop. It's so much easier to distract people and to make people feel bad, or to shame people, or to judge people. So on this channel, if you guys seen the first ever video that I ever posted, I had a pink wig on and I was living in Colorado at the time. I was letting you guys know not to judge people here on this channel. This is a judge-free channel, meaning if you don't have nothing nice to say, if you're not able to understand the differences or understand perspective, I'm going to do my best to make sure you follow my security, which is the top knot of the world, aka the block button. If not, just knowing that at the end of the day, we don't condone and we don't engage into energies and amenities with certain frequencies. Like, we're above that. And because I am a spiritual being possessing the soul inside of a physical body, none of that physical stuff is gonna shake us anyway. So, not being distracted. I talked about that in the first video, and I briefly am just going over in these videos briefly about me, my intentions, because as the year goes on, as the month goes on, so is the content. And just like anyone who's now joining, you will see, where my heart is as well as my intentions. But for those of you returning, you know that when it comes to life, that I'm going to tell you that you're allowed to take breaks. So, like last year, for those of you returning, and if you like this video so far, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. And make sure you're, most importantly, subscribe. But for those of you who are returning, you know that I would tell you to take breaks, because in life, what I've had to accept and what I want to suggest and advise, and what I've realized, what has helped me along my journey, is understanding that, excuse me, in order for you to necessarily, grow or do what it is that you want to do in life, you have to experience it to realize, what's working, excuse me, what's not working, how you want to go about things, or what you want to learn from. And doing something that you never done before can be challenging, can be discouraging, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible, or that, sorry, you guys, I just took my thumbnail, that it's not likely of you to achieve it. You feel me? And that's something that I just want to start off and suggest and advise to you guys, is to not be so distracted, because there's a lot of chaos in the world that has been going on for a period of time, that unfortunately, until people learn to, free themselves, and this is why I'm here spiritually, in the spiritual world, physically and materially, all those other items are just that. So when people learn how to accept their spiritual existence, so knowing that you're more than your body, you're more than this do rag, you're more than the fake hair or human hair, synthetic hair, you're more than your clothes, you will, one, realize that you have everything that you need in life in order to succeed, and two, you accept the fact that you have everything you need in life. So anything other than your spirit is physical and material. And realizing how that affects you. We live in a world where it's so easy to be distracted and influenced by physical and material items that we don't appreciate ourselves and feel like we're not worthy. I started this channel in 2019 at the age of 22. When 20 years old, I was extremely depressed, extremely suicidal, extremely just done with life. At 20 years old, I thought my life was over because of all of the trauma and everything that I've been going through up until, like I said, the ages of 16. And it wasn't until that I experienced life, I traveled, and I went through good and bad times, and here I am now later, that I've realized that the reason why I felt like I was so lonely and so stuck is because I wasn't familiar with myself. I didn't know who I was. And in life growing up, like, I never have been like bullied. Like, I know people talked about me and I've talked about people, but like nobody's ever like bullied me to my face. Like, I've had encounters where I've not like females and people, and I have been in fights before in my life. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like, and like I said, I've talked about people before. That's not the issue. It's the simple fact that like I've never been necessarily one who has know what it's like. And in school, because I've never had those problems, like I said, people have talked about me and stuff, but I've been, let me say this, I've been secure of myself, like, I'll say, like, physically, maybe not emotionally and mentally, but physically, I've always been secure of myself until I was 14, and that's the only thing I've ever been insecure about. And that's what I was going to say. Like, I've only been insecure because of myself. Like, I've never compared myself physically to women or to people, and ever once said I ever wanted to look like someone, because to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, like emotionally, physically, and logically. It doesn't make sense for me to compare myself to somebody I'm not, because I feel like I would be disappointed and just upset, and I feel like it's disrespectful, and I don't like when people do that. So other than me having my own insecurities, realizing like, how I was raised and how my life affected me, and growing up now realizing that everyone in the world didn't have these opportunities, and that because I was exposed to a certain lifestyle and a certain environment, that I'm just projecting it onto anybody. So anybody who chooses to, believe in me, like believing in yourself, like, excuse me, you guys, I'm trying to make this thumbnail let people know that it's so much easier to distract people in the world. Excuse me. It's so easy to distract people because, once again, if we're born into a world and we're unaware of when we were born and when we pass away because we had no idea, in the physical, spiritually, yes, we know. If you know, you know. But physically, not being, aware and understanding the contract, the soul contract that we chose for this lifetime and the time being, because everyone doesn't live in the same frequency as well as the same energy. So there are timelines and time periods of where people are existing where some people aren't. And that's, like I said, that's where the time revealing itself. So me coming on here to make these videos to let you guys not be distracted is just going to be that. So I just want everyone to know to bear with me, because the information that I have, like, it can be overwhelming, but what I would suggest and advise from subscribers is to take my time and to do things in order. So I'm gonna post another video later tonight, or this, yeah, later tonight, because I posted one around 12 the evening and probably later this evening. So give me one more second, you guys. I can't multitask, and the reason why I've learned I can't multitask is because I have to give my undivided attention. Like, there's nothing wrong with multitasking, but when you multitask, you're not giving your undivided attention. If you're giving your undivided attention, you wouldn't have to worry about one thing and doing another at the same time. And it's not to say that I can't focus on one thing and give my attention to something else. Me personally, because I know how I operate, I need my undivided attention. So I'm gonna post this really quickly, you guys, and then continue to go on this live. Going live. Going live. Link in bio. Going live. Here. Okay, so keeping that in mind. So as I'm making these videos, as I'm, talking, like I said, this is a live video. So as people join my live, of course, that's how I base it off of. So if people join the chat and as people interact in the chat, the more likely it is for me to, continue to stay on the chat. So, sorry, you guys, I just seen something. I'm just looking at something. Oh, you guys, I could change the thumbnail. Hold on, I'm about to upload this thumbnail. Yeah. You guys, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Okay, so you guys, I've been trying to change the thumbnail while I was on live and I didn't think I could do it. So now that I know, Okay. Mm, okay. Maybe I should do it like this. Hopefully nobody's joining the chat. If so, they're gonna see me post a thumbnail. But I'm almost done for the second video, so I'm gonna give this video another 10 minutes. But just know, you guys, that when it comes to life, it took me, I will say, the first 19 years of my life to experience, and then the other, let me get my calculator real quick because let's see, hold on. So first 19 years, okay, hold on. So hold on, you guys. This is why you need to pay attention. And if you are going to go to school, like I said, go to school. You better work hard and understand what it is that you want from this world, because going to school doesn't define your intelligence. It defines your salary, because financially, we have to provide for ourselves, because unfortunately, this is why I'm here, history being falsely, projected and programmed onto us. We've been told that, if we don't have money and if we don't work hard to go to school, that we're not going to be anything, which is not true, because, you know, it's a mentality, and money is part of the physical world, which means that it's temporary. So it's not something you should necessarily doubt or feel less than of. Like, money should not allow people to feel depressed. And I'm only saying this from experience. I'm not going to sit here and say money does not buy you happiness. I'm not going to say money can't do. No, because one, I made a video about that and I gave my opinion. And two, like, as I'm realizing, like, when I first started my channel, my intentions was just like anybody else, I'm pretty sure, trying to establish myself and be stable. As I've continued to work on my channel and grow and give back, realizing, at least for me, this is why I'm here, the true meaning to this whole life, which is understanding why you're here. Because the same way, like, a lot of stuff is spiritual, a lot of stuff is physical and material, which means a lot of stuff isn't real. So if it's not spiritual, the meaning behind it. And because I've gotten so comfortable with removing and detaching myself with detachment and attachment or labels, I've learned to accept that. And at this point in my life, being, more grateful to be in the present day, because that's the only thing that matters. Like, there's a lot of people upset about, what's going on in the world. And it's not to say necessarily that they should not feel any type of way, because when you've been information for so long, anything anybody tries to tell you, you may be in denial because you're so used to of a way of thinking. It's not until people like me and other people, I'm pretty sure, like TikTok, who are trying to, and other, like I said, other people, star seeds or chosen ones, people want to call them, who are speaking up and using their platform for their good, because the people who know are aware, and the people who are not knowing, is not to say that we want you guys out of the loop or people think that they're better, but it's just all about educating yourself. Like, the same people who are displaying that there are world wars in Russia, United States, and Ukraine are the same people who are posting fashion shows right now at Gucci and Prada. And it's not to knock Gucci and Prada and anybody who's currently at the fashion show, but it's like, if there's allegedly a war going on, why are people, able to still go to fashion shows that been planned since last year and previously. Anything that already has a date on it has been pre-thought of, which means it happened by man. Anything that's supernatural and unexpected is from source and from the divine. And on this channel, it's not my job to convince people to believe, but using your discernment, understanding what you've been told and what you allowed in your life, in your reality. So it wasn't until 19 years old that, like I said, I've experienced, or 16, I keep saying 19. So 16 was, so the first 16 years of my life were, I feel like, were decent. 17 to 20 is when it was like the worst. 17 to 20. So 1 to 16 was cool. 17 to 20 was the worst. 22, I mean, 20, 21 to 23, that's when I realized like I was suffering and that in order for me to move forward, that I was gonna have to heal one day. So, and then from 23 to now, 23 to 25, I've just been healing every day, you guys. And when it comes to healing, it's a process. There's no right or wrong way to heal. So, like, you're gonna have days where you're crying. You're gonna have days where you're happy. You're gonna have days when you want to be around people. You're gonna have days where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm lonely. But one thing I could say from this whole experience is that I'm learning to understand my worth, my value. I'm no longer surrounding or tolerating people, places, and things that are no longer meant to be in my life. Like, if somebody is removed out of your life, let them go. People that want to be in your life are going to make sure they value you the first time when they had you, because people know your value. People don't think that you won't leave them, or that they can't, or that the grass is greener. If somebody thinks the grass is greener on the other side, let them think that. People know the grass is green wherever you choose to water it. Like, just because somebody doesn't see your value doesn't mean that you're not valuable, you know? So just keeping that in mind. Sorry, you guys, I just seen. So yeah, I'm just making sure that, all right, I'm just making sure that everything is being posted. It's saying that it's working. This is top chat one. Okay, so I'm so confused, you guys. I'm really trying to see, like, and for those of you who are joining the chat right now, I'm just trying to figure something out. Okay, I'm just trying to figure something out. Okay, I may just have to figure this out in a second. But don't be distracted, you guys. There's so much going on in the world. Like, there's so much going on in the world. And it's so much easier to be influenced when you're not secure of yourself. If you don't have the resources or the tools, or feel like you're not worthy, or you haven't done anything in life. I just want anybody to know, anybody who chooses to support me, you're choosing to support yourself. And if I choose to support you, you choose to support me, we're working with each other and not against each other. and working for one another. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I'll be back later in the evening. So after probably 8 or 9, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And around that time, I'll come back and check on you guys, make sure we're doing well. So for those of you who, stop by, thank you so much. Make sure you guys like this video. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you're commenting down below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram and Twitter at Ty_guidance. I do not have any other form of social media. So if you guys are being DM'd about bookings, readings, I've only do sessions on my social media. I only have Instagram, and I've only done my bookings on my Instagram. So just to let you guys know, keep that in mind, and knowing that when things happen to us, learning to understand why, how it affects us, what we're feeling, allowing yourself to feel what it is that you're feeling, acknowledging it, accepting it, adapting, so then you can take action and move forward. So stay tuned, you guys. We have a long year. We're going to take each day for what it is, be in the present moment, practice daily, and not give up on ourselves. So that being said, don't allow people to invalidate how you feel, learning to close chapters and doors with old relationships, peers, people, places, and things that aren't serving you, so you can make room for things that are going to be for you, and appreciating them, and not having to learn the same decisions, and understanding how these choices have affected you over and over again, learning from them, benefiting from them, and appreciating yourself, so you feel, worthy, so you can live your life and do whatever you want. Like, literally, the goal is to just figure out what it is, what makes you happy and what's not. It could be so simple, like going to the grocery store in your pajamas, knowing everyone is dressed up, could be something that makes you happy. And doing it because it makes you feel good and not because of what society says. Like, I stopped having expectations of people in 2019. I've been stopped having expectations of people ever since 2019. So, in 2016. So 2019, 2016, I stopped having expectations. So 2016. And like I said, all of these dates I got, they just all over the place, you guys. So don't pay it no mind. So that being said, I'm gonna come back later. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't use profanity. Making sure you guys are staying hydrated and drinking plenty of water and taking your time. Like, you can take breaks. Just don't give up on yourself. So last year, specifically and strategically, I posted for 9 months straight. The first 2 months of this year, I took some breaks because I was like, I worked really hard. I posted over 300 plus videos, or 200 plus videos, because I already had 100 videos out. And then, like I said, getting back to it. And then this year, like by the end of next month or even this month, it just depends. I got to see, having over 400 videos that I made by myself. Like, starting off with knowing that this year is just starting, and so is my channel. So just because things don't happen immediately doesn't mean it's not going to happen. As long as you continue to make things work for you, things will eventually work out how it needs to. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Live your life.